Stitcher. I'm back for another cross-stitching update. It's been a week since my last video. I hope everybody has had a good week of stitching and doing all of the fall and Halloween activities. I can't believe we're on the last week of October already. The weather here has been completely deranged. It was really nice the end of last week, and then Saturday was beautiful. It was the perfect temperature day. We did all the outdoor chores. Maybe that was Friday. I can't remember. There was a day this weekend where it was so pretty. It was 60 degrees, sunny, blue skies. We did all our outside winter prep chores, most of them. And then Sunday was freezing cold and windy, and today there was snow, so that's great. I love having snow in October. I feel like it's been a few years since it snowed before Halloween. There have been many years I remember growing up where it was snowing on Halloween. But it's already melted. It's not cold, warm by any means. It's low 40s, high 30s, very windy. But it was a blizzard for the first half of this day. And I felt terrible. I had no idea it was going to snow today. So my kids just went to school in like some kind of fuzzy sweaters, zip up sweaters, and then it was a blizzard. So I drove their winter coats to school a little later this morning, so they wouldn't freeze on their walk home, but at least it'll be dry when they're walking home. I am not ready for snow. I don't think you guys understand how terrible it's going to be for me. For all of us here in Idaho, we don't enjoy the snow because it lasts so long. If it was only here for a short time, then I'd love it, but it drags forever. Okay, no more lamenting about the snow. We did, like I said, a lot of outdoor chores this past weekend. We have a big concrete patio that we've had an outdoor rug on for like the last 2 years, and we were lazy last year and we didn't roll it up and put it away for winter. And then we had it out all summer, so the rug was very much worse for wear. So we were like, we're just gonna get rid of it and we'll get a new one for next year. So my husband rolled it up, and we had gotten a ton of rain, and so there was about 5 billion, it's a pretty accurate number, 5 billion dead worms underneath the rug. So I hosed it down, and then I ended up getting the shop broom and some Dawn dish soap and scrubbing the concrete patio with the broom, and it looks so clean. I actually love it. I'm glad that I did that. Cleaned all the concrete because it was so dirty too. Around where the rug was just like a line of dirt. It was terrible. So while I did that, my husband did probably the last mowing of the year, and was wrapping up hoses and putting things away and putting patio furniture away and all of that. And we are pretty much ready for winter at this point. There's still a little bit of bark that needs to be moved off of the driveway, but otherwise pretty good. I did not work this past weekend, and I've actually sort of been laid off of work. Winter hours, I guess, get really heavily cut, and since I'm one of the newer employees, mine got cut first. I will most likely be working one weekend a month now, but so I'm laid off technically, so I won't work next weekend either, which would be my normal weekend of work. So I'll have more stitching time, I guess. And it's cold, so I'm not like particularly upset about that because it's so cold working outside right now. What else did we do? I guess I'm doing life first, sorry. My husband and my father-in-law took my 10-year-old out, not in the wilderness, but we call it out to the butte. And they were shooting clay pigeons, and that was his first time shooting a gun at pigeons and targets and things. And I really did not know how it would go. He's almost 11, and he is autistic. And so there are a lot of things he does not like to do. He does not like to do sports. We have tried many sports and he doesn't like particularly loud things, which shooting is very loud. So I was really surprised that he wanted to go, and he just had the best time, I guess. They just had a little teeny tiny 22 for him, and he brought home a little shard of a clay pigeon that he shot, and he was very excited. So very much a shock to me that he enjoyed that. But so they went and did that all day on, that must have been Saturday. So it was Friday we did outdoor chores. They went to that Saturday, and then my middle daughter, she went to a birthday party with some of her little besties, and they went to a pumpkin patch and played for a long time, and to dinner and cake and all the things, and she just had a great time. And that's basically it. It was a pretty uneventful week, but the weekend was kind of busy. So another thing I just wanted to address on here, first off, I guess not first off because I've already done life, but I do want to thank everybody who has taken the time to leave me a kind comment or send me a kind message. I appreciate every single one of them, and I try to respond, but life, I try to make sure I heart at least all of them. You know, for every mean comment, I get a lot of kind ones. So it's very much appreciated and very encouraging to keep going filming my videos, because I love to share what I'm stitching and crafting, and I've made so many friends just through this platform. I would hate to not have it anymore. So it's very much appreciated, all your interacting and your kindness. I just wanted to say that really quickly. So the last week of stitching, what have I done? I have 2 finishes. I can't remember the last time I had 2 finishes in a video. It's very exciting. I have 2 finishes, no new starts, and a few WIPs. So I left the chart over there, but the first finish I have is Harvest Time from Chessie and Me. This was a chart that I picked up at Shepherd's Bush in September, and I stitched it on a 36 count hog bristle from Fox and Rabbit. There was a lot of specialty stitches in this. It was really fun to stitch. It's kind of hard to show without my mouth being blocked. Move it a little bit. There was a lot more specialty stitches in this project than the other Chessie and Me that I did last month. So the outside was stitched in a nun's stitch. Don't know why that one looks weird right there. Stitched in a nun stitch, this whole border. I'd never done a nun stitch before. It's just technically kind of a back stitch, but you do it in a certain order. All of the acorns are satin stitched, and the pumpkins are satin stitched. These ones are. The roof is also satin stitched. This barn star was supposed to be smeared crosses, but I was stitching at a friend's house and wasn't reading the instructions, and it's just regular cross stitch. This cat is over 1, and then all of the tops of the acorns are Smyrna crosses, and so are these 3 pumpkins. These are all Smyrna crosses. I don't know if you can see that very good. When I finished the cat, I showed my husband, and I was like, look at this cute little cat. And he was like, little? That cat's enormous. It's the same size as the barn. Really? Y'all know what I mean. It's so cute. Oh, and the crow is also stitched over 1. I loved stitching this one, and I'm really excited. Probably next year. I don't think I will get to it this year. Maybe say never. I guess we still have a whole month of November, but probably next year I would like to frame this one and the buddy in the same frame together, and they'd be really cute to display next year for the fall. And I say next year because my Christmas is about to go up. Yes, it is not Halloween yet, but I don't care. November 1st, my tree is going up. I need the joy. And the turkey tastes just as good when the tree is up. Just so everyone is clear. Okay, and my second finish that I am very, very, very excited about getting finished. Clip this on. Is Mary Cornwall 1827. I have finished another red sampler. It's so exciting. I started this with Audrey, who's my friend. Her channel is Stitch Stitch Bead. We started these together earlier this year, but I can't remember which day. I have stitched it on 46 count creme brulee subdued from Tabby Cat linen with the called for 103 silk, which is 523, I think. Yes, 523. This, oh, camera, sorry. This red sampler was a lot of fun to stitch. I did a lot of stitches I had never done. Well, not a lot. One stitch I had never done, maybe two. So this border right here had running back stitch, which, I mean, it's like back stitch, but it feels fancier to say it was running back stitch. And then this whole middle section here is four-sided stitch. I'd never done four-sided stitch, but it was time consuming. That stitch takes quite a while. It's four stitches for every one cross. So it took a bit, but I think it looks so cool. I love the effect. And then this border and this alphabet and this border are all Algerian eyelets. Yes. Which I'm a professional at now by this point, after doing nearly 500 on Anne Morrison. And then these stitches down here in the name and the date are over 1. So they're very teeny tiny, over 1 on 46 count. I think this is the first time I've done over 1 on 46, but it's entirely possible that it's not, and I just don't remember. And then this border down here, these were all stitched over 4 threads. I love it. I'm very excited to get it framed. I'll probably frame it in another black frame so that all my red samplers are in blackish, dark brownish frames. And this will be my 3rd red sampler. So I have quite a little collection going now. I'm planning to start another red sampler on Christmas or Christmas Eve, whichever I have more time, because it just is something that Audrey mentioned that she does as like a tradition. I think that's so fun. I love stitching red samplers, and I prefer to stitch a red sampler over a Christmas project, so it works for me. And now this is done and I'll be ready to start another one. I am not crazy about this silk color, number 523, which is a 103. It's not very bright red. It's pretty dull, more like a brick, kind of pinky orangey red. Not crazy about it. I think it looks okay. It looks good on this fabric, but I probably wouldn't use it again if it's called for in a chart. I would just swap it for another red that I like more. But it's okay. It's good to have variety on your sampler red wall. But that was something I was kind of like struggled with throughout the whole project. I was like, I'm not crazy about this spool. And I did use a whole spool of 103 for this on 46 count. There's like maybe half of a yard of it left on the spool. But I'm really happy to have it done. And I loved stitching on this linen. Tabby Cat is really nice linen to stitch on. Okay, so those are my 2 finishes. And I do have some WIPS that I worked on. I know I showed this in my last video that I had started it. Yeah, trying to remember. This is Sarah Stewart Hardman, 1824 by Needlework Press. I started this on the 19th for Audrey's birthday. And I'm stitching this on 56 count Lallybrock from Tabby Cat. And I'm using all the called for Tudor silks from Gloriana. And so I'm trying to remember what you saw last time. I know I did a lot of work in this border. I wanted to get a couple colors put on there. I did a little chunky of grass, but the border is so delicate and tiny. All of the stitching is so tiny. And then I did come over this way because I wanted to get to the house colors. They're the prettiest reds and I really wanted to get to them. So I did get the grass kind of outlined, and then I started on some of the bricks in the house. The house in this cover photo doesn't look like it's different colors. And I know it says in the chart why they chose to do it a brick pattern. I just can't remember. But this red is so pretty. And the house isn't huge. There's only one row of windows, so I'm almost to the top of the house. It only comes up to about here. But this fabric is so nice to stitch on. I can barely tell sometimes that it's 56 count. Like, it doesn't feel hard to stitch on. It's really enjoyable. I didn't really want to put this one away, but it had been out for a week already and I was feeling the need to rotate. But I hope this one comes back out sooner rather than later because it is so cute and tiny. I love it. Okay. I also kept Real Comfort out from Plum Street Samplers. And I didn't do a whole lot since the last time you saw it. I did put in the words in that flower in the words. I think that's all I did because I did not touch the house. I just did those words. And then I was feeling a little antsy, needed to move on to something else, but I do love this project. I'd love to get the house at least fully outlined, maybe in the next month before I put it away for an indeterminate amount of time. I don't know, but I would like to get the house outlined. I think I'd feel good about getting that all done. So I'm sure this will come out again throughout the month of November. And then the last WIP that I worked on for like an hour and I was just not into it. I don't know why. It's got all the makings of a great WIP. I love the fabric. I love the thread colors. I love the designer. I just was not feeling it. And that is Turkey Hollow Farm from Stacy Nash. I would like to get this out again before November ends. This is what it looks like right now. Oh, I forgot to say fabric on Real Comfort. I think I've said it in previous videos. This fabric is 40 count vintage lentil from Lakeside Linens. Last time I worked on it, I focused in the border because I wanted to get all the way over to the edge so I could cut off the big extra chunk. So this time I instead did this big pumpkin and that is it. I just did that pumpkin and I was like, you know what? No, not into it, not feeling it. It's not the vibe today, but I love everything about it. I love those orange flowers. And it's got turkeys on it, so it has to come out in November, and it will. Okay, that is all the stitching I have to show today. I spent most of my time finishing these 2 small finishes, and yeah, that's where a lot of my time went. And then a lot of my time on Friday went to doing outdoor chores, and that's okay. I do have one piece of haul. I pre-ordered the Hands Across the Sea samplers. Oh, and I bent mine. Samplers calendar. So all of these charts are in the calendar. This one right here with the people was actually the exclusive released for Swindon. Don't count the days, make the days count. So this is the calendar that was put out for 2026, and you got a red sampler that is exclusive to these calendars. She does not, as far as I know, she does not release those red samplers to the general public. They stay exclusive with these calendars. And she did send the red sampler in a PDF form. So I can't show it because there's no cover photo. But it is very pretty. It's a blessing sampler, so I will start it probably in January and hopefully stitch it in that month because it's not scary big. And then that came with a really pretty card with Maria Wales Newson on there, which I will be starting in January for the stitch along that will be starting for that chart. Okay, plans. I don't really have any. Something's wrong with my case. I did pull out a Christmas whip this morning because it was snowing. And then I forgot it and left it downstairs, but I've done nothing on it. So I did pull out Santa Stops Here from With Thy Needle and Thread. Come on, open. Which looks like this. So I have that out. We'll see how motivated I am to keep working on it. So that's I really just don't have plans. I was kind of like on a finishing roll, and I'd thought about pulling out another chart that is close to a finish, which is Ann Morrison. She's very close to a finish. Well, I say very close, and then I pull her out and it takes me like 5 more days. So we'll see if I can get motivated enough to get another finish for the next video. But I am thinking about her. I'm also thinking about some of my other hats that I haven't stitched on for a while, because I'm kind of over fall stitching, but not quite 100% ready to dive into Christmas stitching. So I'm just kind of going wherever the wind takes me right now. Let's talk shows. I watched a movie on Netflix. It's not a Netflix movie, but it was on Netflix. It is called Hostels with Christian Bale and Rosamund Pike. I believe that's the only people I knew in it. Based in the 1880s when the West was being settled. And there was a lot of tension between Western settlers and the Native Americans. And the war was over, and they were escorting, a man was asked to escort an Indian family, a Native American family, to Bear Valley, which was their ancestral grounds in Wyoming. And so it was kind of just following that journey north to Wyoming. And it was so good. I had never seen it. I love movies of that time period. I had never seen it before, and I was so glad I watched it. It was a little longer of a movie, but I love both of those two actors, and it was so good. I'm really annoyed that I have not seen it before. It was very, very sad. I did cry a couple of times. It was super, super sad. But I highly recommend. It was a fantastic movie. I think it was from 2005. I think. But oh my gosh. So good. And then I watched a couple serial killer documentaries on Netflix. There's one called My Father, the BTK Killer. There's not a lot about him that I just wasn't familiar with. Like, I didn't realize that he didn't get caught until 2005. I was 15. Like, that's scary. He didn't get caught till that long. You know, when you talk about, when you see these documentaries and they're talking about these serial killers, it sounds like they're so far away. Like, for instance, we're also watching one called The Devil in Disguise, a dramatization about John Wayne Gacy. And that was all in the 70s. And he was executed in 1994, I think. So I was alive, but I was little. And so they seem so far away, right? Ted Bundy was also, you know, before my time kind of a thing. But the fact that this guy was like roaming around until 2005, like, that's terrifying. So it was pretty interesting. I really feel for his daughter who was in this documentary. She's done a lot of work for people who have been in these kinds of situations and for the victims' families and things. But man, I can't even imagine trying to grapple with that discovery about your own dad. It was very interesting though. And then like I said, we've been watching The Devil in Disguise about John Wayne Gacy. There was not a lot I knew about that either. And I just kept thinking, like, I just don't want to be insulting to anybody, but these young men, like, did they not have any stranger danger? Was that not a thing that was taught? Because they had no fear of strangers and just like getting in strangers' cars. I don't know. I know it was the 70s, but like, dang, you couldn't catch me getting into a stranger's car ever. So that's been really crazy to hear about. And that is on Peacock. There are 2 on Peacock that are called The Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy. This one is like the dramatization. And the guy who is playing John Wayne Gacy in this show is also in Severance. He is the brother-in-law of, is his name Mark in Severance? The weird brother-in-law that's like writes books, self-help books. He was really good in this role. Very creepy. And then I watched a movie that I had not watched since I was young, and that is Silence of the Lambs with Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. I was like, I don't know if I've just never seen this all the way through, or it's been so long that I couldn't remember some of it. That is such a creepy movie, but it's a really good movie too. And apparently there's a second one called Red Dragon. And it's got Edward Norton and Anthony Hopkins again. And I tried watching it. I got maybe 15 minutes in and I just couldn't, I don't know. I wasn't into it. If you've watched it all the way through, is it worth it? Is it worth the watch? Or do you just stick with the first one as a classic and leave it alone? Jodie Foster was so young in that movie. It's weird to see her that young. But it's a really good, really creepy movie. They just don't make movies that are good anymore, I feel like. I think other than that, we've been watching football, which the Bills won yesterday. We were so happy. Oh, so happy. And then the Giants game was on at the same time, and Cam Scadaboo, who is one we love watching play. We have loved watching him play since he was played in Arizona. And he really hurt. He dislocated his ankle, and it was disgusting. If you have seen the pictures, I could just vomit. I dry heaved seeing it. It's bad, and it requires surgery, and he's probably out for the season, which is terrible because he has just killed it this year. He's so good. He could have won Rookie of the Year this year, I bet. Oh, so that is really a letdown to see happen. And then the Raiders won a bye week, so they did not play. And I was just really happy that the Bills finally won, broke your losing streak. So otherwise, yeah, we haven't really watched anything else. We haven't watched Sister Wives, and we are behind on Dudley's Catch. So I would like to keep watching some more kind of spooky movies, but I don't really know what to watch. I need to watch Sweeney Todd, but it's not streaming anywhere, which is really annoying. I have like 8,000 streaming channels, and I don't want to pay to rent a movie. I'm trying to think. We watched Hocus Pocus. We did watch Hocus Pocus this weekend and Nightmare Before Christmas. So we got 2 classics done. And we watched Corpse Bride last month, so we've watched that too. I could watch Edward Scissorhands, I guess, another classic. But it is Halloween week, so we will be... Halloween's on Friday. The kids have a Halloween costume parade that I'll go to the school and watch. And then that night we will be going to my mother-in-law's house for dinner, and we'll trick-or-treat in her neighborhood. And then we will probably drive to my parents' neighborhood and trick-or-treat in their neighborhood as well. We just don't get very many trick-or-treaters, which is really strange because we live right in the middle of town and we're at the entrance of a subdivision. But there is a cul-de-sac like a few houses down, and I feel like people go there and drop their kids off so they don't come back up towards the entrance houses. Like I don't get very many. So we just shut the house down and go to our parents instead, because I buy candy and then we get like 10 trick-or-treaters. Let's see, what are my kids going for? This year, my son is going again as his costume from last year, which was Catnap. Something from, he says it's Poppy's Playtime. Some creepy YouTube show. I don't know. Or Nintendo game. I'm not sure. He's just a big purple cat, looks to me, but it's really warm, which is a bonus. So he's doing that again. And my middle daughter is being a witch. She was a witch last year, but her friend is being a witch this year, so they wanted to be witches together. I got her dress last year, her witch dress, and it has lights in the skirt, so it all lights up. It's really cute. We did get her a couple little new things to add to it, like a headband, little teeny witch hat, and some tights because she was really cold last year. And then my youngest is going to be a black cat to go with the witch. And it's a warm costume that goes over her head. So bonus for that too. We have to think about these things in Idaho. Is there going to be snow on Halloween? It's entirely possible. But other than that, I think that is all. I will be putting Christmas up on November 1st. I am so excited. I'll start with at least my main tree and see how much energy I can muster throughout the rest of the day to do any more. And if I do more, great. Otherwise, it'll just be kind of done over the next week or two, because I have a lot of trees. I put up a lot of stuff for Christmas and a lot of stuff for fall, but it's fine because we love it. So I hope you guys get all of the stitching you want the next week, and you have a very happy Halloween doing whatever it is you do. I'm sorry for all of you with dogs that don't like the doorbell ringing and the door getting knocked on. I totally know how that feels. It's one of the worst parts about 4th of July and Halloween. But I will see you in my next video. Bye.